Hello YouTube! My name is Scott and welcome to another episode of Opinions No One Cares About. The video series that your therapist has been warning you not to watch, and yet here you are. You little rebel. I like you. Okay, first things first. If you've been following my channel, you probably have noticed that I haven't put up a video in a month. The thing with that is, if you didn't know, I shoot all my videos on my phone. And last month I had the misfortune of getting it so wet that the camera stopped working. So I suppose really the only thing that can have come out of this unseasonable heat wave is that my phone dried out to the point where I could actually use it as a camera again, and therefore as a video camera, and now you're looking at my smiling, handsome face. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Are you like me? Are you rapidly approaching middle age, sitting in front of a camera and making a video? Okay, that got way too personal too fast. What I'm trying to say is, though, do you like jokes? Well, of course you do. Who doesn't like jokes? Everyone likes to laugh, right? Why do you think I try so hard, and sometimes even succeed, at putting jokes in these videos? You did know some parts of these videos were supposed to be funny, right? Right? Well, anyway, we all like to laugh. I mean, here on YouTube, you can find videos that are specifically people trying to not laugh at things. Comedy can be inspirational, subjective, thought-provoking. What? I'm just trying to explain how powerful a good joke can be. And this is my video, so I think I'm allowed to...
Get on with it!
Okay, didn't even go on that long. Anyway, jokes are great. And one of my biggest regrets is that I'll never hear the funniest joke ever written. Not that it hasn't been written already, it absolutely has. There were just consequences.
This man is Ernest Scribbler, writer of jokes. In a few moments, he will have written the funniest joke in the world. And, as a consequence, he will die laughing.
I really wish I could just put that whole sketch here. But yeah, that was from Monty Python's first episode. The premise was that the killer joke, as it was known, was weaponized and used against German soldiers in World War II. After peace broke out, joke warfare was banned at a special session of the Geneva Convention, and the joke itself was laid to rest in the Berkshire countryside.
Never to be told again.
Or was it? See, it's my belief that this joke was told again, if not completely, and in probably the last place you'd expect. I really wish I could have put the theme music in here. Ah well. The Breakfast Club. Regarded as one of the defining films of the 80s, this movie about kids from all walks of life coming together to realize that they're not as different as they might think is, in my opinion, the place where the killer joke was almost told again in its entirety. Now, for those of you who may not know what I'm talking about, let's take a look at this character. John Bender. Easily the coolest Bender to exist in pop culture until this one came along.
Shut up, I know it!
Bender is the criminal of the group. He wound up in detention for pulling the fire alarm, and spends most of the movie being a belligerent jerk. Or just an unhappy kid, depending on how you look at it. But his words and actions are such that the disciplinary principal, the appropriately named Dick Vernon, does this.
That's the last time, Bender. That's the last time you've ever make me look bad on those kids. Did you hear me?
The authority figure threw the kid in a closet and faced no consequences. Because back in the day, parents did not care. Moving on. Bender decides he doesn't want to spend all day in a closet, oddly enough, and escapes through the ceiling. And as he does, this happens.
A naked blonde walks into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 2-foot salami under the other. She lays the poodle on the table. Bartender says, "I suppose you won't be needing a drink." Naked lady says.
Now, from a writing standpoint, this makes sense. Bender's crawling through the ceiling, so if the camera's focused on him by himself, he's going to need to say something. But as you may have noticed if I hadn't cut the clip off when I did, Bender doesn't get to finish the joke for some reason. Probably because it was funnier for him to fall through the roof, to be honest. But what if it's because he was telling the killer joke? Oh yeah, I'm not good enough at video production for musical stings or dramatic zooms. Damn it. The implication is obvious. If the joke had been completed, movie theaters would have been full of dead people. And that cuts into the box office take. You can't have that. So it's likely that the killer joke was put into the script, but not in its entirety, just to keep the body count down. Now, besides the obvious explanation that this is all fiction, there is a little bit of evidence that maybe this joke isn't the killer joke. Like this, for example.
All through the winter of '43, we had translators working in joke-proof conditions to try and produce a German version of the joke. They worked on one word each for greater safety. One of them saw 2 words of the joke and spent several weeks in hospital.
Yeah, apparently this joke was so deadly that seeing even 2 words of it together could be bad for your health. But I think I can explain that. Going back to Bender and the Ceiling, which, now that I think about it, would be an interesting band name, but let's put that aside for now. Back to the clip.
And a 2-foot salami under the other. She lays the food on the table.
Bender starts to laugh just a little bit at the 2-foot salami part. And for a second, it seems like he might not be able to stop. Clearly, it's the effect of the killer joke. And to be fair, this joke was written during World War II. Comedy standards had changed in the intervening 40 years. It's entirely possible that the killer joke in its entirety wouldn't even be considered funny now. But back in the 80s, it was more than enough to have John Bender on the verge of losing it entirely. So, what exactly happened? How did this joke make it from the front lines of World War II into a Brat Pack classic? I'm thinking like this. As you can see, each soldier had a copy of the joke. And it's unfortunately safe to assume that not all of them made it home. So imagine a German soldier looting the body of a fallen enemy who comes across their copy of the joke. Having heard tell of it and recognizing it for what it is, he quickly folds the paper up and stuffs it in a pocket, vowing to never read it. But of course this guy's a good little Nazi, and we know they didn't all die off in the 40s. So he keeps living his life, maybe eventually emigrates to America, where he gets married and has a family, one of whom is a daughter named Nancy. Now, why would I be so sure of his daughter's name? Because John Hughes, the writer of The Breakfast Club, was married to a woman named Nancy Ludwig, a name of German origin, which is just convenient enough for me to continue with my theory. Nancy's father, the former Nazi soldier, had probably given up on his plans to get the killer joke out by the time his daughter met John. Or he'd attempted it at some point, and, I don't know, there was a mysterious case of a man who couldn't stop laughing for several days at a nearby hospital. But then, all of a sudden, in the 80s, there's a chance. His son-in-law mentions that he's having trouble with this one scene that he's writing for a movie, and he needs a joke to fill some time. And almost immediately, Nancy's father mentions that he knows of an old joke that he came across during the war, if it could be properly translated from German. And that is what catches Nancy's ear. Kids have a way of finding out about their parents' pasts. So I have no doubt that Nancy probably knew what her father had been up to during the war. There's just no need to do anything about it. I mean, he's her dad. Who cares? But at that point, when she realized that he wanted to re-weaponize the killer joke, that was a bit too far. So I'm thinking she got a hold of it herself. Remember, comedy standards had most likely declined at this point, so the joke was infinitely more readable. And when she got to the point about the punchline, well, you just leave that part out. I mean, Bender's going to fall through the ceiling anyway, so there's no need to keep it. She translates the rest, gives it to John, and the rest is cinematic history. So there you have it. One of the most devastating weapons of World War II nearly brought back in an 80s movie. Humanity will never know how close we came to destruction. And maybe I need to flesh out my ideas a little more. But hey, at least I know how to end it. Oh yeah, I don't know how to freeze frame either. Damn it. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know the usual YouTube stuff to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the little bell for notifications for the next time I put a video up. It's good to be back. I'm really glad I could have gotten my phone working again. Yeah. Anyway, until next time, I've been Scott, and this has been Opinions No One Cares About. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.